rail goes up there. This thing has this feature, you know, where it folds up, obviously all the way up, and it's very, very reliable, simple to install. We absolutely love this one. Beep 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 beep. So there's no maintenance on it. So people aren't going to have to pay that, you know, $200 and $250 service call every year to have that free stuff. So that's a great advantage to the Harmar. I notice over here we have an access DVD. The newest guy on the block, or however you say that. What's great with this guy is that it has treat me like what is, don't give me all so this one, because it has, you know, the track right in there, metal track, it does need to have a maintenance check, but hey, you get that done and you have lifetime warranty. That's a pretty amazing thing to have, you know, peace of mind there. Just get us just check it out once a year, and then we're good to go. And last but not least, you know, the USA made brand like the Harmar brand, elite version. How much would this hold? Yeah, this holds up to 400 pounds, and this has, you know, the cushions and everything, the U colors for the 2022 model. Yeah, this is definitely a heavier duty one. So it's go up to 300, 275. This is the 400. Treat me like Watis. Don't give me daddies. Treat me like Watis. Don't give me daddies. Love on me. Love on. You are literally on your own. You know, we have that kid was just right there. Body boxing. So that's definitely very important to keep in mind. What the heck? Naughty baby. He took the train in the split. I don't know what I'm doing. When the hare woke up, he saw the tortoise reaching the finish line. The hare rushed towards the finish line as fast as he could, but it was too late. The tortoise had already crossed the line. The tortoise was the winner. Not over until it's over. Hey, naughty Batman. The goose that laid golden eggs. He's so easy to kill. Like, really, like, it's such an easy match. Poor man in a village. Shoot. Yeah! One day, he bought a goose at the market. He thought to himself, every day from tomorrow onward. Yo, you're playing with your dick, giving yourself a fucking boner! Babe! I swear to God, look, come here! The man gladly came to see it. But the egg looked different. Oh, why does it look like that? Is it supposed to look like that? Yeah. Why are your balls tight? Why are they too tight? What does that mean? The poor man couldn't believe his luck. Nope. Not him squeezing his ass. Give me a diaper.
I don't think a pull-ups is a thing anymore. I don't know. The poor man got a lot of money by selling them.
Stop touching your TV. Stop.
He was no longer a poor man.
Let's go over there. You know I don't have a bra.
Rich
That's
man.
what I was just thinking, but he just kept doing what I thought he was.
One day, he said to himself, I only get one golden egg each day.
Why is your character
Why
like
can't
that?
I have all? The rich and greedy man opened the belly of the beast.
Why are you telling me to log on and stop?
But there were no more golden eggs.
Oh, so that's why some of them is folded and some
But
of them
it
is
was too late. Because the goose that had
The
laid
mills
the golden
that made
eggs died.
the golden eggs.
I'm just
man
mad that it
became
doesn't
poor
have the smell
again
because I
soon
didn't even go
after.
to the store. I just bought it.
This was the sad story of a stupid, greedy man.
I don't want to do that, And Eli, how'd you get your character like that?
The fox and the stork.
Come here.
Ooh, she not around.
Once there
Come
was
here.
a fox and
Come on,
a
bye-bye.
stork
Come
in
on.
the neighborhood.
Come here.
He's thinking about it.
Come here.
One day, the fox invited the stork
No, go put it on.
Come
to his
here.
house.
Come here. Here.
The stork
Bye-bye.
went
We go
to the
bye-bye.
fox's house the
Yeah,
next day.
Mira, cante, cabrón.
Why are you texting
He's
Isaac?
But the food
He's like-
served on a flat
Why are you
plate
texting Isaac, Eli?
Give me your leg.
is a
Get it.
delicious meal.
Give me.
However, though very hungry, the
Let's
stork
go.
couldn't
Come on.
eat food. The stork's
You're
beak
so
was
dramatic.
too
Shut up.
long and pointy to eat
So easy.
What's wrong? Are you full already? Then I'll eat it for you.
The fox
Why are you
took
texting
the
Isaac?
stork's food and ate it up. The stork, who couldn't eat anything, went back home.
What are you looking for?
Just something weird.
Checking the other
A
bag.
few days later, the
Having
stork
went to
invited
Fine,
the
I'll
fox
do
to
it.
dinner.
Shut up.
How do I do it?
Like in the bag.
Yeah.
But this time,
I'll
the
fold them
food was served in a bottle
for a five.
with a long neck.
I got you.
The stork dipped its long and
all of it,
pointy
'cause I know you're not
beak
gonna pull all
into the
of it.
bottle
Just leave
and
it.
ate the food.
So when I
Eli, but I don't
However,
want to do
though very hungry, the fox couldn't eat its food. The fox's mouth was too short to reach it.
Is there like a random shirt there?
What's wrong?
there is
Are
a random
you
shirt.
full already? Then I'll eat it for you.
The stork took the fox's food and ate it up. The fox, who couldn't eat anything, went back home.
Fairy tale.
The boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
There was a boy who was keeping
Gonna buy
sheep
another one, the
on
biggie?
the grass
Yeah,
hill.
what?
The biggie.
Fuck
One
yeah.
day, the shepherd boy became so
I need you
bored,
to.
I'm gonna have to switch the day for the
So,
biggie.
he decided to have some fun. He cried out loud.
Alright, start putting your shoes because it's already 4 o'clock and I gotta start getting your dog food. Like, we gotta start
Who
going.
heard this ran to the hill.
I'm trying to get my shoes.
They're not right here.
Wolf,
They're on
where
the other
is
side.
it?
Just wait, Elijah. I'm gonna give it to you.
I'm just kidding.
The
Elijah, what the
people went
fuck did
back
you need help
angry.
with?
put it on. It's hard for me.
A few days
you
later,
just did not want
the
to
boy
put it on.
became
Yes,
bored again.
I did.
Bro, I just clipped it.
So he
I know,
tried
but
out once more.
And why is it so fucking stuck? Like back here.
There's a
Because
wall.
you have to shove it into
The
here.
villagers who heard this ran to the hill.
Get off!
Wait, that has to be on.
Where is it? I'm just kidding. You all got tricked again.
The people went back angry. After a while, a real wolf appeared. The boy was scared and cried out.
Like it goes inside here.
Whoa! Whoa! There's
No, I
a
don't,
real
Elijah,
wolf.
because how the hell?
But this time,
I
no
don't think
one
it goes in
came
there. It
to
just
help.
kept trying to slide it in there. I don't know why.
The boy lost.
It don't, because how the fuck is he gonna get on the other side?
Fairy tale.
So what, it's gonna be right here?
I just think he
Goldilocks
thinks that,
and
but
the
it's
three
not.
bears.
How?
In a small village, there was a girl named
Okay, what about the other side?
Goldilocks. She had golden
No, you're
hair.
not. This stays in here. You just said
One
it, but
day,
show me.
She went
You're
to
telling
the
me
forest
that does not
and
look right.
found a house. Knock, knock. Is anybody there?
It doesn't need to be turned around, Elijah. That
No
just
one
does not go
answered.
like that.
So Goldilocks opened the door.
Put this back. How's your fucking teammate? How the
She
fuck you
saw
actually
3
put it?
bowls
Put it
of
back on.
porridge on the table. She tasted the first bowl. Oh, this porridge is too hot. So she
he's on my
tasted the
champion.
second bowl.
Just wear them, dude. Like,
This
hurry up.
porridge is too cold.
How are we all dressed and it's not only you? I literally put
Tasted
anything.
the third bowl.
It's just the pants.
It's backwards.
I've just got mad
Fix
old.
it, bro. Like, stop pissing me off.
She finished all the porridge in the bowl.
The triangle.
Goldilocks saw 3 chairs.
Okay, but the pants,
in
like I
living
said,
room.
like, they're sweats.
She sat on the
It's literally
first
4,
chair.
30.
Oh,
You still haven't rolled.
chair
You
is
still haven't gotten food.
big.
There's no gas. Like,
So
come on.
she sat on
That's
the
what I'm trying to
second
tell you, like.
chair. Oh, this chair is also too big. Lastly, she sat on the third
Open the bottom drawer. I'm about tired of the fucking breaking food.
This chair is just right.
Well, all the clothes that I just cleaned. That's exactly how closets roll.
Goldilocks went upstairs.
I don't know who it is, but y'all better slow down with my socks because I only got fucking 3 pairs.
This
You
bed
told me to use them yesterday.
too hard.
There was more than
So
fucking
she
5.
lay down on the second bed.
Did I say?
This bed is
I just said I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
So hurry up and get ready. Just hurry up and get ready.
She lay down on
I
the
did.
third
I know what I told you.
Are we gonna have enough time to go to Dick's or no?
Just
Not
right.
after.
Goldilocks
Why?
fell asleep.
Because I was gonna wear no shirt because
After
Aren't you gonna let me
some
have that
time,
piece of
3
my-
bears came
I wasn't
back
gonna put
to
a
the
shirt on.
house. There was
Okay.
Papa Bear,
That's why you want to
Mama Bear, and
Yeah,
Baby
just wait
Bear.
until after practice.
The 3 bears saw the table.
We'll see how it's looking.
Someone's been eating my porridge, Papa Bear said. Someone's been eating my porridge too, Mama Bear said. Someone's been eating mine, and it's empty, Baby Bear said. The 3 bears went to the living room. Someone's been sitting on my chair, Papa Bear said. Someone's been sitting on my chair too, Mama Bear said.
Someone's been sitting on mine and it's broken,
Baby Bear said. The three bears went upstairs. Someone's been laying on my bed, Papa Bear said. Someone's been laying on my bed too, Mama Bear said.
Someone's been laying on mine and she's still there,
Baby Bear shouted. Goldilocks woke up and saw the three bears. She yelled and ran away. Goldilocks never went back to the forest. Fairy tale.
The North Wind and the Sun. The North Wind said to the Sun,
Guess who is the strongest in the world? It's me. Swoosh.
Oh, really? The Sun said. Just then, a traveler wearing a coat walked by. The Sun said, Let's have a battle. Whoever makes that man take his coat off wins.
That's so easy.
The wind replied. The wind blew the coldest, strongest wind to the traveler.
Why is it so cold?
The traveler held his coat tightly. This time, the sun came out and began to shine.
Phew, it's so hot now.
Soon, the traveler took his coat off. Now you know who is the strongest, the sun said. The north wind blew away in shame. The salt merchant and his donkey. There once lived a salt merchant. He had a lazy donkey. One day, he was going to the market with salt on the donkey's back. On the bridge, the donkey slipped and fell into the stream. Oops! The merchant pulled up the donkey. But then, the donkey felt that his back was lighter. This was because the salt melted away. Wow, this is a good idea. The lazy donkey was excited. The next day, the donkey slipped into the stream on purpose. Oh my gosh! the salt melted away again. The merchant cried. After a few days, the angry merchant was going to the market again with the donkey. This time, it wasn't salt, but cotton on the donkey's back. Oh, I know how to make this lighter. The donkey
Dad, I found you some shorts.
free.
Never mind.
But when he came out of the water, he was surprised.
I found some pants for you.
Soaked up the water and became so heavy. The donkey cried.
'Cause that's the dirty
Princess
I don't know where the
and
dirt
the King.
Yeah, that was where I was doing the dirty.
Once upon a time, there was a prince who wanted to marry a real princess. But he could not find a real princess. One stormy night, a knock was heard at the castle gate.
Please, let me in. I'm a princess, and I need a place to sleep.
The prince saw her and fell.
Oh my gosh.
Just don't put them in right now. Wait.
He asked the queen if
I
he
got my
can
phone.
marry
We gotta go.
her.
Yeah, but I'm
But the queen didn't believe that she was really a princess.
The orderings over there, babe?
Well, I have a good idea. She laid a small
Babe, what happened to
on
our
the
deodorant?
bed
Oh, right there.
and piled up 10 soft mattresses on
If you're
top.
getting crazy about the mess, I'll just clean them up.
That night, the girl slept on the bed. When morning came, the queen asked her how she had slept.
Thank you for your kindness.
Come on, Bobby.
I couldn't sleep at all because there was something very hard on my bed. Ouch! My back!
Oh, darling, you are a real princess. So the prince married the princess, and they lived happily ever after.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Christmas was coming to Santa's village. Santa Claus was going to give presents to all the nice children. All the deer wanted to pull Santa's sleigh.
I have long legs. I am the best runner.
I'm not gonna make it. There's somebody there.
I am strong. I can pull the heavy sleigh.
I am pretty. The center should be mine.
The deer were fighting against each other. Then Rudolph said,
I want to pull the sled too.
everyone laughed. With that funny red nose? Never! Rudolph felt sad. Christmas finally came. It was foggy all over the world. Santa Claus said, the weather is too foggy today. What should we do? Then Santa came up with a good idea. Right! Rudolph can pull the sleigh in front of us. Rudolph's nose will brighten up the foggy roads. Rudolph was so happy. Rudolph became the hero of Christmas.
Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, there lived a kind girl named Belle who lived with her father. One day, Belle's father asked Belle,
Belle, what should I bring back from work?
She said, just a single rose. On his way home, Belle's father met a serious storm and landed near a castle. He went in and ate all the delicious foods on the table. He went outside once the storm stopped. In the garden, he saw a beautiful rose and picked it out. Just then, the beast appeared.
Who's taking my precious rose? Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. It's for my daughter. If you want to live, bring that daughter.
Belle's father came home and told Belle what happened. Belle had no choice but to go to the castle alone. Belle was scared of the beast at first, but as time passed by, she started to sense his warm heart. He gave her everything she needed, delicious food, many books, and beautiful flowers. They started falling in love. However, little by little, Belle started missing her father. Beast allowed her to visit him one time. At home, Belle had such a great time with her father. After realizing that she stayed home for too long, Belle went back to see Beast. There, she saw Beast passed out on the ground. Regretting not coming earlier, Belle shed tears of love. At that moment, Beast disappeared and suddenly a very handsome prince appeared. The prince told Belle that he was put on a spell that could only be broken by true love. Belle and the prince got married and lived happily ever after. Fairy tale: The Little Mermaid. There once lived a king of the Sea Kingdom. He had 6 daughters, all beautiful mermaids. Princess Ariel, the youngest daughter, was very curious. When Ariel was 15 years old, she went up to the surface of the water. She saw a handsome young prince standing on the deck of a ship. She fell in love with him. One stormy night, the young prince fell off the ship. Ariel saved his life, but he didn't know that. Back home, Ariel missed him a lot. But there was no way for a mermaid to love a human. She went to the witch and begged for help. The witch gave Ariel human legs, but Ariel had to give up her voice. Moreover, Ariel would become Bubbles if the prince married another woman. She came back up on land as a beautiful human girl. She was found by the prince and invited to the palace. But the prince was going to marry the princess of a neighboring country. Ariel was very sad, but couldn't say anything. The night before the wedding, Ariel's mermaid sisters appeared. They gave her a knife, telling her to kill the prince. Ariel went into the prince's room with the knife, but she couldn't kill him. She turned into Bubbles. This was the sad love story of a mermaid who loved a prince.
Peter Pan. Once in London, there lived 3 children, Wendy, John, and Michael. One night, Peter Pan and the fairy Tinkerbell flew into the house through the window. Wendy was surprised. Peter Pan said he came to get his shadow back. Wendy helped him tie his shadow back to his shoes. Peter Pan told Wendy that he was living in Neverland, a dreamland for children who lost their parents. Peter Pan invited Wendy and her brothers to come to Neverland with him. With Tinkerbell's magical fairy dust, they could fly. Besides the Lost Boys, there were also bad pirates and their captain, Captain Hook, in Neverland. When Wendy and her brothers were wandering around Neverland, Captain Hook captured them. Peter Pan flew to Captain Hook's pirate ship to save them just in time. He started a sword fight with Captain Hook. Tick-tock, tick-tock. At that moment, a ticking sound was heard from below. It was coming from an alligator that once swallowed Captain Hook's arm and his watch. Clang, clash, clang, clash. After a long fight, Captain Hook fell off the ship from Peter Pan's finishing stroke. The alligator, waiting there, immediately swallowed him. At last, the children returned home to London, leaving Peter Pan to his everlasting boyhood.
Fairy tale. Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a pretty girl named Cinderella. When she was young, her mother died. Her father remarried a pretty but bad woman. She brought 2 of her daughters into the family. Her stepmother and stepsisters treated Cinderella like a maid. Cinderella had to do all the housework. She only wore dirty clothes. One day, the prince's birthday invitation came. A ball was to be held in the castle. The stepmother and stepsisters dressed up and went to the ball. Left alone at home, Cinderella cried. Suddenly, her fairy godmother appeared. She turned a pumpkin into a carriage, rats into horses, and a lizard into a driver. She also dressed Cinderella in a beautiful dress. Lastly, she gave her glass slippers. The fairy godmother told her to come back before 12 o'clock midnight. Cinderella went to the ball and danced with the prince. It was 12 o'clock midnight. Cinderella hurried down the stairs as one of her glass slippers fell off her foot. The prince found it, and his men searched from door to door for the owner of the glass slipper. Finally, it fit one girl. She was Cinderella. Cinderella and the prince got married and lived happily ever after. Fairy tale. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, when white snow was falling, a princess as white as snow was born. Her name was Snow White. Sadly, her mother, the queen, died of an illness soon after. Her father, the king, got married again. The new queen was pretty, but wicked. She was a witch. She asked the magic mirror every day, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" And the mirror always replied,
"My queen, you are the fairest."
But one day, the mirror answered that Snow White was the fairest of the kingdom. Jealous and angry, the queen ordered a hunter to kill Snow White. However, the hunter couldn't kill Snow White, so he left her in the forest. While wandering around, Snow White found a small house with 7 chairs, 7 plates, 7 beds, and so on. It was the 7 dwarfs' cottage. When the dwarfs returned home, they were surprised to find Snow White. But they decided to let her stay. Meanwhile, the queen found out where Snow White was living. The queen disguised herself as an old woman selling apples. She came to Snow White and gave her a poisoned apple. As soon as Snow White bit into the apple, she fainted. The dwarves were so sad, they thought she was dead and put her in a glass coffin. One day, a handsome prince was passing through the forest and saw Snow White in the coffin. He leaned down and kissed her on the forehead. At that moment, she opened her eyes. The 7 dwarfs called out, "Hooray!" Everyone was happy. The prince took Snow White to his palace, and they lived happily ever after.
Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel lived in a cottage with their father and stepmother. Their nasty stepmother said,
"Your children eat too much."
One night, their stepmother told their father to abandon them in a forest. Overhearing this, Hansel gathered white pebbles. Their father left Hansel and Gretel in the middle of the deep forest. They followed the white pebbles that Hansel had dropped and came back home. Their stepmother got mad and made their father do it again. This time, Hansel dropped breadcrumbs. But the birds ate all the breadcrumbs. Hansel and Gretel lost their way and wandered through the forest. While wandering, they found a gingerbread house made of sweets. A chocolate roof, candy bar windows, and bread walls. They soon were eating delicious chunks off the house. But the owner of the house was an evil witch. The witch locked Hansel in a cage and ordered Gretel to feed him a lot of food. Thinking of eating a fat boy, the witch checked Hansel's arm to see if he had gotten fat. But clever Hansel noticed that the witch had very bad eyesight. So he stuck out a thin bone instead of his arm.
Why is he still so thin?
The witch wondered. The impatient witch ordered Gretel to heat up the oven to bake Hansel.
I don't know how to do it. Would you show me?
Gretel asked. The witch peeked into the oven to show Gretel.
This is my chance.
Gretel thought. Gretel pushed the witch inside and slammed the oven door shut. That was the end of the witch. Now rich and free, Hansel and Gretel lived happily ever after.
Fairy tale.
The Little Match Girl. It was a snowy winter night. A poor little girl was walking around the street selling matches. She was dressed in shabby clothes and had no shoes on.
Matches. Please buy my matches.
She was very cold and hungry, but no one bought a single match. She approached a window where warm light was coming out. Inside there was a beautiful Christmas tree a fireplace, a table full of delicious food, and the happy laughter of families sitting around. The girl was very sad. Tired of being cold and hungry, the girl took out a pack of matches and lit it. At that moment, she saw a fireplace with warm flames coming out. But soon, the match light went out, and the fireplace went away. The girl lit a second match. Delicious food appeared in another bright light. Cake, meat, soup. The girl stretched her hand toward the plate. But the match light went out again, and the girl was back in the dark. The girl sighed and lit a third match. This time, the girl's grandmother appeared.
Oh, Grandma, I've missed you so much. Take me with you.
Grandma nodded with a bright smile. The next morning, people found the girl dead on a street corner. They felt sorry for her, but they didn't notice a faint smile around her mouth.
Fairy tale. Jack and the Beanstalk. A long, long time ago, a boy named Jack lived with his mother. They were very poor, so Jack's mother told Jack to sell their only cow. On the way to the market, Jack met a mysterious old man. He showed Jack magic beans. Jack traded his cow for the beans and came back home. Jack's mother got angry. She threw the beans out the window. The next morning, Jack saw a huge green pillar going up into the sky. It was a beanstalk.
Wow, they were real magic beans.
Jack climbed up the beanstalk. Above the clouds, there was a giant in a big castle.
3, 5, 4, bomb. I smell a human boy.
After hiding, Jack stole the giant's gold coins. He went up again. Jack stole a chicken that laid golden eggs. He went up one more time. This time, Jack took a magic harp. At that moment, the harp started playing and the giant woke up. He ran after Jack, shouting,
Get him!
Jack quickly climbed back down the beanstalk. He chopped down the beanstalk with an axe. The giant fell to the ground and died. From then on, Jack never went back to the castle again.
Fairy tale.
Little Red Riding Hood. There once lived a sweet little girl in a small village. On her birthday, she received a cape with a red hood from her grandmother. She liked it so much that she always wore it. People called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day her mother said, "Little Red, your grandmother is sick. Take these cookies to her. Go straight without looking away." Walking through the forest, Little Red met a wolf.
I'm visiting my grandmother because she's sick.
Oh, really? Then how about giving her some flowers too?
When Little Red was busy getting some flowers, the wolf ran to her grandmother's cabin and knocked on the door.
Who's there?
Asked Grandma.
It's me, Little Red.
The wolf pretended.
You sound strange.
It's because I caught a cold.
Believing it, Grandma opened the door, and the wolf swallowed the poor old lady whole. The wolf put on Grandma's clothes and got into her bed. Little Red arrived and said,
Grandma, I brought your favorite snacks.
Oh, thank you, dear.
But your voice is different. What's wrong?
It's just because I'm sick.
Well, why are your ears so big?
To hear your voice better.
Why is your mouth so big?
To swallow you up.
At the moment, the wolf gobbled up Little Red Riding Hood. Now that he was full, the wolf fell asleep, snoring loudly. A passing hunter heard it and stepped into the house. Noticing the wolf's giant belly, he thought,
This wolf must have eaten people. I must save them.
the hunter cut open the wolf's belly. Surprisingly, Little Red and her grandmother popped out. They took a lot of stones, put them in the wolf's belly, and sewed it shut. The wolf woke up feeling very heavy. He ran away in pain. Fairy tale. The Ant and the Grasshopper. In the green meadow lived an ant and a grasshopper. The ant was always busy working hard, but the grasshopper just sang and played the guitar in the shade. One summer day, the grasshopper saw the ant carrying heavy pieces of food. Curious, the grasshopper asked,
Why are you working so hard on this hot day? I'm storing food for the winter. Winter is cold and we have to prepare now,
said the ant. The grasshopper didn't understand.
It's still summer. Why do we have to hurry?
He thought. Time passed quickly. Now it was autumn, and all the leaves were falling off the trees. The ant worried about the grasshopper. The ant came up to the grasshopper and said,
Hey, buddy, winter will come soon. Why don't you start getting ready?
but the grasshopper kept singing and playing the guitar.
Winter's a long way off,
he said. Soon the cold winter came. The green meadow turned into a white field of snow. All the food was gone. The grasshopper aimlessly wandered around in search for food. Very hungry and cold, he felt miserable. Oh, how stupid and lazy I was, he thought to himself. He regretted not preparing for winter, but it was too late. Fairy tale. The City Mouse and the Country Mouse. There once lived a city mouse and a country mouse. One day, the country mouse invited the city mouse to his place. When the country mouse served a meal to the city mouse was disappointed.
Is this it? It is nothing more than a few kernels of corn and grain. If you come to my place in the city, I will give you a great feast,
said the city mouse. The city mouse and country mouse went to the city. When the city mouse served him his meal, the country mouse could not believe his eyes. There was bread, cheese, fruit, and grain. But when the two mice sat down to eat, a cat jumped onto the table. The two mice hurried and hid in a small hole until the cat left. When they were about to eat again, a cook came in. The cook saw them and screamed out, "Ew! Catch the mice!" So the two mice rushed inside the hole again. This happened over and over again. After all of this, the country mouse said,
Goodbye. I am going home where I can enjoy my simple dinner in peace.
Fairy tale. The Ugly Duckling. There once was a mother duck. One day, she was waiting for her eggs to hatch. Crack, crack, crack. One by one, all the eggs hatched except one. This egg was larger and browner than the rest. Finally, a large, ugly-looking bird popped out of the egg. The mother duck was very disappointed. The other ducklings made fun of the ugly one.
You look so ugly. Yeah, you are not like us.
The ugly duckling was so sad. One night, the ugly duckling decided to leave and find a new family who might want him. He walked and walked with hope. When he saw a family of different ducks, he said,
Hello there. You are so ugly. Go away.
all the ducklings said, "Okay, bye." He had to waddle off again in search of a nicer family. The next day, the ugly duckling came to a pond filled with a family of geese.
Hello there.
"You were so ugly. Go away," all the goslings said. "Okay, bye." Here again, he couldn't stay. With no family, the ugly duckling had to survive the cold winter alone. When spring came, the ugly duckling went into a clear pond and saw a family of the most beautiful birds, swans. He wanted to join them, but didn't dare to ask. Suddenly, a graceful swan came to the ugly duckling.
Oh, how beautiful you are. You have the whitest feathers I have ever seen.
Confused, the ugly duckling looked at his reflection in the water. He was not an ugly duckling at all. He was a beautiful white swan with a long and elegant neck. The swan lived happily with his new swan family. Rapunzel. Once upon a time, there lived a poor husband and wife. The wife got pregnant, but they had nothing to eat. So the husband went to a nearby garden to steal some vegetables. He stole some vegetables from a garden. At that moment, an evil witch appeared.
Who's taking my precious vegetables?
The frightened man asked for forgiveness. The witch said,
In return for food, you must give me the baby when it's born.
when the wife had a beautiful baby girl, the witch took her away. She named her Rapunzel. Rapunzel grew up to be a beautiful girl with long blonde hair. The witch locked Rapunzel in a very tall castle tower. Whenever the witch visited the castle, she shouted,
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair.
Then she could climb up the tower using the hair as a rope. One day, as a prince was passing by the tower, he heard a beautiful voice singing a sad melody. While he was wandering in curiosity, he saw the witch go up. So he did the same. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Reaching the top, the prince was surprised to find a beautiful girl. The two fell in love at first sight. Rapunzel wanted to escape from the castle and marry the prince. But soon, the witch found everything out. Angered, she cut Rapunzel's long hair and sent her far away. Not knowing this, the prince came to the castle again. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. But it was the witch who was waiting for him. When he was almost at the top, she let go of the hair. The prince fell down into a thorn bush and hurt his eyes. He became blind and wandered around the forest, looking for Rapunzel. Finally, they found each other. She shed tears in the prince's eyes. Miraculously, the prince was able to see again. The prince took Rapunzel to his castle and married her. Fairy tale.
The Frog Prince. Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful princess. On the princess's birthday, she received a golden ball from her father. She liked the ball so much that she always played with it. One day, she dropped it into a well by accident. She was so sad that she burst out crying. Suddenly, a frog showed up out of nowhere and said,
Don't cry, princess. I'll get it out for you. In return, you'll have to be friends with me. Eat and sleep together with me.
The princess agreed because she wanted to get the golden ball back as soon as possible. So, the frog got the golden ball from the bottom of the deep well. The princess was delighted and ran back to the palace with the ball. The next day, the frog came to the palace and said,
Princess, let me eat with you. You promised.
The princess turned away, but her father scolded her. If you've made a promise, you must keep it. Unwillingly, the princess ate and played with the frog. At night, the frog jumped into the princess's bed.
Please, kiss me goodnight.
The princess hated it, but she kissed the frog's cold, damp cheeks.
I can't stand it any longer.
She threw the frog off the bed. At that moment, a handsome prince appeared out of nowhere. I am the prince of the neighboring country. I became a frog by an evil witch's spell. Thanks to you, the spell has been broken. Will you marry me? The princess felt sorry for what she had done, but nodded shyly. They got married and lived happily ever after.
The Prince and the Pauper. Long ago, in a kingdom, there was a son born to a king and queen. He was named Edward. On the same day, a son was born to a very poor family. He was named Tom. Prince Edward was treated very well, with lots of food and clothes. But for Tom, it was the opposite. His father made him beg for food on the streets. One day, Tom saw a huge palace. He wanted to go in, but the guard stopped him because he was wearing dirty, ragged clothes. "You cannot enter this palace. Go away, you little rat." Prince Edward saw this and said,
Why is there screaming?
"Your Highness, this pauper boy is trying to enter the palace."
Even though he's a pauper, he's still one of my people.
Prince Edward brought Tom into the palace and gave him some food. He suggested Tom to switch clothes because he wanted to go out. Tom couldn't do anything but agree. Surprisingly, they looked like twins. Prince Edward headed outside of the palace. Tom's father, who thought Prince Edward was Tom, dragged him back to their house. He beat him every day and made him beg for money. Meanwhile, Tom tried to convince the servants that he wasn't Prince Edward. However, no one believed him and thought he was ill. One day, Prince Edward bumped into Knight Hendon. Believing his story, Knight Hendon decided to help him go back to the palace. On that day, the king had died, and Tom was about to be crowned as the new king. When he was receiving the crown, Knight Hendon bursted in with Prince Edward.
Wait! I am the real Prince Edward, not him.
Everyone didn't believe in him, so Tom said,
He is right. He is the real prince.
Prince Edward took out the royal seal to prove that he was the prince. Everyone believed them, and Prince Edward was crowned as the king. Touched by Tom's honesty, he let him become his chief advisor and awarded Knight Hendon. They ruled the country together and lived happily ever after.
Fairy tale.
The Bremen Town Musician. There was an old donkey. His master stopped feeding him because he was weak.
I must go to Bremen. I'm going to become the best musician there.
The donkey found an old hound dog by the road. "I'm old now, and I don't have the speed to run anymore. I'm useless."
Come on, come with me to Bremen and make a music band.
The dog followed the donkey. After a while, they met an old cat.
I'm too old to catch mice. I'm useless. Come on, come with us to Bremen and make a music band.
The cat followed the donkey and dog. After a while, this time, they met a chicken.
My owner is going to eat me tomorrow. Come on, come with us to Bremen and make a music band.
So the chicken followed the donkey, dog, and cat. In the forest, they found a cabin. In the cabin, they saw some bandits eating delicious food.
I have a good idea,
said the donkey. The donkey stood first. Then the dog climbed onto the donkey. Then the cat climbed onto the dog. Then the chicken flew onto the cat. They were like a tall monster. 1, 2, 3. Nay! Move.
meow, cock-a-doodle-doo.
The animals screamed all together. The bandits ran away. The animals ate all the food in the cabin. Meanwhile, one of the bandits came back to the cabin. As soon as he entered the cabin, the cat jumped in and scratched his face. The dog bit his legs. The chicken picked onto his hair. Finally, the donkey kicked him with its legs. The bandit ran away screaming, "There must be a monster in the cabin!" The bandits gave up the house in fear and went far away. The animals lived happily ever after, singing and dancing in the cabin.
Fairy tale.
The Happy Prince. In a faraway village, there stood a statue of a young prince. It was made of gold and all kinds of jewelry. People called it Happy Prince because of its beauty and splendor. In winter, a bird seeking shelter landed on the Happy Prince. When it saw the prince crying, it was surprised.
Happy Prince, why are you crying? I am so sad because I can see many poor people from up here. Will you help me help them?
The prince asked the bird to take his ruby to a poor woman. She was taking care of her baby, but there was nothing for them to eat. The bird removed the ruby from the prince's sword and gave it to the woman. The next morning, the prince said to the bird,
There's a poor writer living without food. Will you help me again?
The bird removed the emerald from the prince's eye and gave it to the poor writer. The next day, the prince asked the bird for help once again.
There's a poor girl who dropped all the eggs she had to sell. Will you help me for the last time?
The bird removed the emerald from the prince's other eye and gave it to the poor girl. Though very tired and cold, the bird stayed with the prince. It removed the gold off of the prince's body and continued to help the poor people. The appearance of the prince grew uglier. In time, the bird died, and the ugly statue was thrown into a fire. But the prince's beautiful mind never turned to ashes. Truly, he was a happy prince.
Fairy Tale: The Wolf and the 7 Little Goats. 7 baby goats and a mother goat were living happily in a cabin. One day, as the mother goat left the cabin, she told the baby goats to not open the door to anyone. The baby goats answered,
Don't worry, Mother.
After a while, a wolf came to the cabin and knocked on the door.
Kids, your mom's here. Open the door.
But the youngest goat shouted,
Don't open the door. Listen to the harsh voice. It's not Mom.
When the wolf heard this, he knocked on the cabin again with a soft voice.
Kids, your mom's here. Open the door.
The youngest goat shouted,
No. Look at that black feet under the door. It's not Mom.
When the wolf heard this, he poured white flour on its feet.
Kids, your mom's here. Open the door.
Oh, it must be Mom.
The baby goats finally opened the door. The wolf jumped in and swallowed the baby goats one by one. After the wolf left, the mother came back. Then the youngest goat came out of the alarm clock.
Mom, the wolf ate all my brothers.
The mom goat went out looking for the wolf. When she found the wolf sleeping, she cut the wolf's belly open. All the baby goats popped out from the wolf's big belly. She filled the wolf's belly with stones. When the thirsty wolf woke up, it went to a well. As it bowed down to drink the water, splash! It fell into the well. Fairy Tale. The